Alright, welcome back everyone. So in tonight's video, we're not going to be doing Mopar Monday. Unfortunately, I have scoured the shelves and was just not able to find any kind of Mopars. But I do still have a lot of really cool stuff in the background there, as you can see. And we are at a slightly different camera angle, once again, because I found yet another gimmicky, silly thing to try and hold my phone to film these videos. So I promise I will eventually get a GoPro and just make my life so much easier. But anyway, the first thing I want to go over is a bit of an oversight, a bit almost, I want to say misinformation that I gave in the last video regarding this 1962 Chevy Impala lowrider from AutoWorld. First things first, I did fail to show you guys the little box that it comes with, the little collector's box. We didn't look at the card. So on the back of the card, it does have a little bit of a paragraph there. So if you want to take a quick pause and read through that. And then down here, there are 5 different lowriders to choose from, or to collect, in 2 different paint schemes. Now I do have some of these already picked out in my Amazon cart, so don't worry, we will be seeing some of these guys on the channel. Now, the misinformation part. So I said that if I had to guess, this would be a 327, which would be a correct guess, but I failed to notice this is an Impala SS, and because it's a 62, in 63 the 427 was available, but this is a 62. Because this is an SS, this should have the 409 big, I believe the 409 was a big block, yeah. So that is the 409 in this car, not the 327. So I just wanted to clear that up and make sure we took a look at the card from our last video before we carry on with our episodes here. And there is one thing that I want to show you guys that is really cool. It is a solution to the lack of space, the whole dilemma I've had with filling up my case in a matter of weeks. So real quick, I'm going to show you guys this rotating display case that a good friend of mine gave to me. I was over his house and I saw it sitting in his hallway, and he was like, "Yo, do you want this for anything?" And I was like, "I know exactly what I want that for." It is absolutely perfect. I mean, it's got tons of rows. There's plenty of room to hold each car. I think what I'm gonna probably end up doing is putting little LED light strips inside here, so it you can see everything in there. But I mean, this thing will probably hold easily 300 cars if I had to guess. And it does have windows for each side. I only have 2 of them in right now because I was playing with where I want to put cars and how I want to put them in there and stuff. But for right now, I got to figure out a place that I want to put this for permanent. But yeah, that is the solution to our filling up of cases too fast. So once we fill this thing up, then we've got a problem. So anyway, back to, now that I've chewed your ears off about many different things, let's get into tonight's video. So we will get this guy off the lift. We'll put him back in the parking garage for now. And we will start going over what we are going to be unboxing tonight. First off, just out of frame here, we have a Hot Wheels Premium. It's Kit from Knight Rider. I grabbed this because of the fact that it is a Trans Am, and I'm a huge fan of Trans Ams. I know it's a little pushing it because it's like, if you ever watch Knight Rider, you know, David Hasselhoff was who did he work for? It was some kind of like spy or something. But this was his car, and it was, you know, super advanced and talked to him and everything. Next, we have the DeLorean from Back to the Future. So we've got 2 Hot Wheels Premiums that are kind of 80s memorabilia. Back to the Future is one of my all-time favorite movie series. So I'm a big Steven Spielberg fan. we've got a 73 Chevrolet Cheyenne C10, or maybe K10, probably a C10, from M2. Where did I find this? I found this at Hobby Lobby. So, yet another Chevy pickup truck that I will probably have to make room for in the case, or it might be the starter of our new case. We have version A of our 77 Lincoln Continental Mark V. If you go back quite a while in my videos, I did cover version B, which is all black. I have that guy right here. So there's version A and version B of the 77 Lincoln Continental Mark V. Let me get that parked up for now. And last but not least, certainly not least, just out of frame again, is probably my new favorite car. And I will try to get a couple pictures in right here and explain to you why, or well, I won't have to explain why. So that is my 2011 Chevy Camaro SS, and this is a 2011 Chevy Camaro from AutoWorld, and it is probably the closest replica I have ever seen to my car. Now the stripes are a little different, but I don't want to get too picky with it. You know, the wheels are, I have different wheels on mine, but oh my gosh, it is as close as I could probably ever get with a 1/64th without having to do custom painting myself. It is essentially my car. I think this is actually a 2SS RS, whereas mine is just a 1SS, so mine has cloth interior. Nothing fancy, but it is still the 6.2 liter V8 and a 6-speed manual. So the 2SS RS had a couple other features, but we'll talk about that when we open that guy up. So what do you say we open up Kit first, and we'll take a look at him, and we'll talk a little bit about I guess maybe we could talk about some of the cool features that Kit had. All right, so here is Kit. It's KITT, which obviously stands for the Knight Industries 3000, if you're not aware, if you've never seen Knight Rider. Take a quick look at the card here. It does not have too much, doesn't really tell you anything about Knight Rider. But I took a few seconds to go online and look up all of Kit's different features, which was honestly probably a mistake because the page was, you know, there's an entire novel of different features that this car had in the show. So I wrote down some of my favorite ones that I read, starting with a 1,000-watt quadraphonic stereo system. It had 24-hour roadside assistance, 360-degree video surveillance, a 3D heads-up display, autopilot, crash avoidance, computer AI. It sounds like it's basically just a Tesla. It had, so the red scanner thing was called the anamorphic equalizer. Yeah, had an aquatic synthesizer. I don't know what that one is either. Computer, artificial intelligence. He had laser guided missiles, a laser weapon system. Those were apparently two different things. A smoke screen, self regeneration and damage repair. Kit had oxygen for the driver's compartment, internet access. He could get into the FBI database. So it was basically the ultimate gadget car. Really cool casting. Really Really love what they did with this thing. The interior, if you take a look in there, is even... let's see if we can get it in pretty close. It's pretty accurate to what Kit actually looked like on the show. Obviously very different from your average mid-80s Trans Am. So you can see the dashboard kind of wraps around there. And then all kinds of gadgets and computer stuff in the driver's compartment. Blacked out taillight. Of course, the license plate says Knight on there. I think his name was Michael Knight, right? It was Michael. I think it was Michael. I could be wrong. But either way, the car is all I really cared about. Really cool with the solid hubcaps on there. Those look really sharp. Absolutely awesome looking casting. And they again, there's your anamorphic equalizer right there in the front. Very cool. So I'm not sure. Actually, let's just take a look underneath. Of course, underneath we have an all-metal base, Hot Wheels premiums as always. Some unusual detail here. Some of this looks like mesh plating almost. I just realized I'm holding this upside down. And then it does say Kit on the back there, on the back corner, K-I-T-T. Yeah, so very cool. Very excited to add this one to the collection. I keep getting new cars and I keep wanting to like take other cars out of my case to put these in, but I never know which ones I should take out. And I think for the time being though, until I find a permanent place for that rotating display stand here, I'm just gonna keep stacking them up on the desk. So we will get right into the DeLorean from Back to the Future. This is so freaking cool. I love this car. Oh my gosh. This thing is absolutely awesome. I love it. I absolutely love everything about this casting. You can actually almost make out right in between the seats, there's the flux capacitor that produced, I think, what, 1.21 gigawatts is what he says in the movie. Yeah, really, really cool looking car. I mean, the DeLoreans already were so cool looking, but the big engines on the back and I think that is the Mr. Fusion on there, so I guess this is the one from the second movie. Yeah, it just looks so cool. Absolutely awesome looking car, and it looks as if this is maybe just a treated body. It's just not painted. That's the word I'm looking for, to give it that stainless steel look. This is just a unpainted body with all of the details and wires and everything painted in. This is so cool. If you've never seen Back to the Future, first of all, get out from under the rock you're living under and go watch. There's 3 of them. The first 2 are good. The third one's meh. But you gotta watch it because it's part of the trilogy. And they're all really great movies. All Steven Spielberg movies, of course. Yeah, it's to be expected they would be good movies. But yeah, absolutely so excited to add this one to the collection. Just adding to the 80s movie memorabilia. I'm a huge fan of 80s movies. Yeah, I've always liked Back to the Future. I even have a couple Back to the Future t-shirts with the DeLorean on them. Really, really awesome to be adding this guy to the collection. So, interestingly enough, if you watch the Back to the Future movies and you listen very closely, the DeLorean sounds absolutely mean. It sounds like some kind of like open exhaust V8. It goes like no tomorrow. It's fast as hell. It's like a hot rod. But in reality, the DeLoreans had a 3.8 liter V6 that, if I'm not mistaken, was made by Jaguar, and they had like maybe 160 horsepower, in a giant stainless steel car, they were by no means fast. It would honestly be a miracle to get a DeLorean up to 88 miles an hour. That would probably be, pretty impressive. So the fact that that's what they had to do, and they did it in, like, I think the first movie they do it in a parking lot. I don't know what kind of DeLorean you're getting up to 88 in a parking lot in, but certainly not one from the factory. Although, needless to say, if it's a time machine, I'm sure it's not stock under the hood. But anyway, still a really cool car. And of course, we'll take a look underneath. I think this does have, yes, a painted base. Got Back to the Future time machine. Although usually it says 86 or 85 DeLorean. And then, of course, the license plate, just like in the movie, says out of time. So very, very cool, very awesome car. We'll move right along to our 73 Chevy Cheyenne from M2. Alright, so here is our 73 Cheyenne C10 with wood grain siding. I'm not sure if that was ever factory on these trucks. If you do know, leave a comment, let me know. I'm already seeing some messed up white walls. So what I think I'm gonna try to do maybe is I have some wheels left over from that Econoline van. So I'm gonna see if I can maybe pop these wheels off and swap them. Maybe, maybe not. They don't necessarily seem like they want to come off. Oh, nope, they do. Let's see. Yeah, those are a little small. I think I'm going to stick with the regular wheels on this one. Anywho, probably should have just paused the recording for that. But yeah, that really just bothers me so much when the white walls are all wonky like that. But yeah, this is a 73 Chevy Cheyenne, a little earlier than some of our other stuff. I think our next earliest Chevy pickup truck is a 78. So yeah, not a lot of stuff from the early 70s. Still a really cool looking truck. We've got most of a 350 small block in there. It looks like they kind of just gave up with casting that detail in there. I don't know, it's like the top half of the motor. Ugh, that doesn't look awesome. Let's close that hood. There we go, that's better. Yeah, still a really cool looking truck. I had to grab it being that it's a Chevy pickup truck. I love, love, love my square bodies. Even though this wood panel siding's kind of throwing me off a little bit. I don't ever remember seeing wood panel siding on the 70s or 80s model trucks. I mean, it looks cool, don't get me wrong, but either way, we've got our Chevrolet badge across the back there with a silver stripe as opposed to wood, so that looks a little weird. And then a white roof. I think most of my other Chevy pickup trucks are painted roofs. One of them has a white roof, but either way. And then on the fender there, you can make that out. You have your Cheyenne badge, 10 being a making this like a 1500 or half-ton pickup truck. There's your Chevrolet emblem on the pillar there. No mirrors on this casting. I do like the round headlights of the 70s model trucks a little better. Of course, this is an M2, so we have oh yeah, there are plastic lenses in there for headlights. It's a nice little detail. Pretty basic though. Basic tan interior, bench seat. Not a whole lot of detail thrown in on the inside there. If you do take a look underneath though, it's pretty cool. It does have screws holding this casting together. So if you ever wanted to take it apart and repaint it, that'd be pretty easy. Maybe we'll do that one day. Then we've got our 73 Chevrolet truck used under license there. So, did this guy have a license plate? Yeah, no license plate on this one. Still a really good looking truck though. I like it a lot. I think this may be the first Chevy truck that goes into the rotating display case over here. Just because I'm really running out of room in there, so, or I'm ran out of room. I'm saving one space for the Camaro that we're going to cover in a few minutes here. But so we'll get that parked up, and we will cover our 77 Lincoln Continental Mark V. So we'll get this guy opened up. All right, so here is our next, I guess, 1977 Lincoln Continental Mark V. Next, as opposed to our last one. I think the last one also had an opening hood that didn't really want to work with me, so we won't push it either. But either way, still an absolutely awesome looking car. Really cool to see it in a different color. This metallic blue looks awesome. Late 70s, enormous car. It hangs off both ends of the lift, as always. But fortunately, this one is going to be going in the rotating case, so we won't have to worry about not being able to close the display case. I may move some of my longer cars from the case that is up here to the rotating display because of the fact that it is just hard to close the wall display sometimes because of how long some of the cars are. But either way, yeah, this is a really cool car. I want to say this had a 460 in it, but I could be wrong. With Fords, you know, meh. And especially late 70s, it probably didn't have a lot of power either. But that's not what it was about. It was about comfort. It was about looking good. It was about style. If we take a look at our license plate, it does say, we can focus on it, 1977. You can just barely make that out down there. But, yeah, of course, and then our Lincoln emblem in the middle of the spare tire bulge, and then it says Lincoln around there. You can just barely make that out. Dark blue interior. I love colored interiors. I think they look so cool. I don't know if I ever mentioned, or I think I did mention, my my old S10 Blazer had all red interior. Red plastic, red carpet, red cloth, red everything. Everything was red. And it was so obnoxious, but I loved it. So yeah, that is really cool to see that deep dark blue in there. And then obviously complemented by the all black version. This would be version B. The blue one is version A. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. And then because it's an AutoWorld, we do have our premium facts on here. If we can focus on them. Now these are different facts from the version B, but if you want to hear those facts, you're going to have to go back and watch that video. So it says the first release of our 1977 Lincoln Continental Mark V, or this is the first release. It says at 233 inches or 19.4 feet, the Lincoln Continental was the longest car of 1977. And then our paint code down at the bottom there is medium blue diamond bright. Very cool. Very, very cool color. This thing would look awesome sitting with the lowriders, honestly, just because of how long it is. I should see if anybody makes any Lincoln Continental lowrider castings. That would be pretty cool to have. But yeah. It looks like, as to be expected from AutoWorld, tires look perfect. Seems like they're the only ones that can paint the tires on without making them lopsided. But either way, we will move on to, let's get our cards out of the way. And I don't know if I showed you, but there's the card for the DeLorean. I know we took a quick look at it, but Again, not much info on the back, but we will get that into the pile. And then also, here is the box for, if I can, let's get this in one piece here, the Chevy Cheyenne. Doesn't really say anything much on it, just has pretty cool design. So, get that tucked away into the drawer. Alright, so, last one for tonight. This is easily my new favorite car. So I am absolutely itching to get this out of the box. So here is my 2011 Chevrolet Camaro SS, black with silver stripes. Now granted, mine has gray stripes, but silver is close enough for me. And of course we've got the hood open so we can see our 6.2 liter LS3 V8. Looks like he's already got a K&N cold air intake on there. Of course, these motors were rated for 426 horsepower at the end of the crankshaft. So if you put them on the dyno fresh out of the box, they put down usually about 380-ish, about 380 horsepower to the tires. But all you really have to do is get a set of long tube headers and either some high flow catalytic converters or get rid of your catalytic converters. Good exhaust, good intake, and a proper dyno tune, and you can easily put down, you know, low 400s, 410. Mine puts down 417. I've also got a 370 to 1 Lingenfelter rear as opposed to the 355 rear that they come factory with in the 6-speed manuals. I've also got a few other things done to mine, short throw shifter, coilover suspension, subframe connectors to keep it nice and stiff, and I have a, so the headers on mine are Hooker long tube headers, and then it's a full Hooker Blackheart exhaust system. So it sounds pretty mean. Well, if you've watched my videos before, you've heard it. So in the end of the video, that revving and burnout sound is actually an audio clip of me doing a burnout in my Camaro. So you've heard my Camaro before, and I'm gonna try and throw some pictures of it in earlier on in this video. So if we succeed in that, you'll have already seen my Camaro. But this is an absolutely stunning example of a 2011 SS Camaro. The wheels are a little different from mine. I think these were an option. I think, I could be wrong. If not, very popular wheel to put on these cars. Our license plate, what does that say? It says grind, because they always grind second. The TR6060 with the triple synchronizers have a tendency to grind second gear. I wonder if that's what they were going for there. Probably not, but either way. So we'll get our hood closed here. Yeah, probably my favorite car in my collection now. I almost want to put this in the car, or like, you know, Velcro it to the dashboard or something. That'd be pretty funny. We've got our Chevy emblem up in the front of the grille there. I have deleted the Chevy emblem on my grille just because it looks nice and clean that way. I also took the Camaro badging off of my fenders because it looks cleaner. One thing I noticed about this casting that I absolutely love, so on the Camaros, the 2010s to 2013s had these style taillights. From the factory, they had a chrome trim ring around them, and they looked like absolute garbage. So it's nice to see that there are no chrome trim rings around these taillights. That was the first thing I did to mine, was I got black trim rings for the taillights. Nice dual exhaust tips there. These stripes do not actually run out to the end of the trunk like this. They, I'm like 99% sure they stop on the spoiler. And I also don't think the stripes come down off the end of the hood here either. So, do your homework, AutoWorld. I'm only kidding. I absolutely, positively love this car. I think this might even make it as the new channel profile picture. What do you guys think? I mean, it's pretty fitting, right? If we take a look inside there, we can see there's our shifter for our 6-speed TR6060 made by Tremec. 6-speed manual. You got the Super Sport seats in there. Yeah, I will say one thing about these cars. If you notice how small the back window is, it's even smaller from inside the car. It's pretty much impossible to see anything that's behind and to the side of you while driving one of these cars. So they are a little bit nerve-wracking to park. But, you know, that's the price you pay for all that horsepower, I guess. Yeah, absolutely, positively love this thing. I can't stop looking at it. Take a peek underneath just to see if there's any. Yes, there's a lot of good detail under here. Looks like, ew, it still has catalytic converters on it. Gross. So what I'm talking about with subframe connectors on my Camaro, it's basically a bar that runs from this subframe tube to this subframe tube, and it keeps the body from twisting under hard acceleration. Yeah, so if we can't really read too much of that print that's on there, it's pretty small. It does have screws to take this casting apart. That is really cool. I like to see that. I like having the ability to take a casting apart, even just for cleaning purposes, getting dust out of the interior of them. It's nice to be able to take them apart with screws. So real quick, this is the little collector box that came with it. It's got a little ruler on there so you can measure it, because that's their thing. True 1/64 scale. Yeah, this is an older AutoWorld. Unfortunately, there are no facts on here, but I think I rattled off as many as I could for you guys about horsepower and everything. If we take a look at the back, this is from 2017. This is release 4 from 2017, and there are a lot of really cool cars in this release. I may start looking around on, I almost said YouTube, eBay for some of these guys. We got a 58 Plymouth Belvedere, a 64 Plymouth Barracuda, a 64. The earliest I've seen is a 67. My dad had a 64. The 64s had a different back window than the 65, 66, and so on. The 64 had a bubble back window. So I will definitely be trying to find that 64 Plymouth Barracuda. That is really cool. It's technically a 1964 and a half because of when it came out. We've also got a 71 Ford Mustang Mach 1, a 66 Mercury Comet Cyclone GT, and a 74 Dodge Challenger Rally. This entire series, I want all of these. I really want all of these, especially that 64 Barracuda. I will definitely be on the lookout for that one. So, let's get that card tucked in there. I'll keep that on standby in case I need to look up what series that is. And we will get all of our... Let's get this Lincoln back in the case here. And we'll get all of our castings cars from today into the parking garage and take one final look at them. Alright, so starting from the left, we've got Doc Brown's Time Machine made from an 86 DMC DeLorean. We've got Kit, who is a Pontiac Firebird. We've got the 73 Chevrolet Cheyenne C10. The 77 Lincoln Continental Mark V. And then, of course, my winner for today, upstairs, we've got the 2011 Chevrolet Camaro SS. Absolutely love it, guys. So make sure, if you enjoyed today's video, to leave a like, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.